It's time for From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine with Trey, a golf podcast for those who love golf, struggle with golf, and just like to enjoy the outdoors and fellowship with friends, all while chasing a ball around, trying to put it in a 4 1/4 inch diameter hole. From the Shortgrass is presented by UAMS Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, and brought to you by Stevens Incorporated, an independent financial services firm with the freedom to focus on what matters most. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels. We partner with you to deliver high-yield results by managing, developing, and investing in top-quality hospitality assets. And now, from the Shortgrass, here's your host, Trey.
Welcome to another edition of From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. I am your host, Trey. Jordan Wicks, a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, is hosting a Veterans Day Classic. It's a two-man scramble at Conway Country Club on Monday, November the 11th. 8 o'clock team check-in. It's at the Conway Country Club, 555 Country Club Road in Conway. There will be longest drive and closest to the pin contest, and the night before there is a dinner and auction at Legacy Acres. That's Sunday, November the 10th. It starts at 6 o'clock. Guest speaker at the dinner and auction will be Colonel Jason Davis. There will be appearances from Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher and UCA alum Gavin Stone, Conway alum, of course, Chicago Cubs pitcher Jordan Wicks, Conway alum and Houston Astros top prospect James Hicks, and Chicago Cubs top prospect Cade Horton. There will be a Q&A with Jordan Wicks as well. For more information, email Nita Freeman, that's NITAFREEMAN, at chriscranegroup.com for more information on the Jordan Wicks Veterans Day Classic. $500 to enter a two-man team. You're going to get a lot from it, and you're helping a good cause, the Jordan Wicks Veterans Day Classic. In fact, coming up in this episode, I sit down with Jordan Wicks to talk about golf and pitching for the Chicago Cubs and, of course, his Veterans Day Classic coming up to Conway Country Club. Hey, don't forget the Simmons Bank Championship. It'll be here before you know it. October 21st through the 27th at Pleasant Valley Country Club. Tickets are still on sale, and they are moving. Make sure you get your tickets. Go to their website, SimmonsBankChampionship.com. Want to thank Matthew Allen and Blair Allen, Beechwood Pinnacle Hotel Group. They know how to manage hotel properties. When you need an overnight place to stay, if you're coming in for the Simmons Bank Championship from out of town, make sure you stay at one of their properties. They have properties downtown, midtown, all over Central Arkansas. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotel Group, bphotels.com. I'm back with Jordan Wicks after this. Stay with us.
The future is not about a bond reaching maturity. The future is what my grandfather worked for. It's what my father carried on. It's my responsibility today. The future is my son's tomorrow. At the Stevens Private Client Group, we believe that our strength builds success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stevens, member NYSE, SIPC.
Heading to El Dorado to check out some live music or to play Mystic Creek? Stay at the Haywood, the only boutique hotel in the middle of downtown and the Murphy Arts District. If you are spending a weekend in Hot Springs, make plans now at the Marriott Courtyard close to Lake Hamilton and Oaklawn. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotel Group manages both of these fine properties, and you will rest easy knowing that your every need is taken care of. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels on the web at bphotels.com.
UAMS Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is taking golf to the next level. As the official orthopedics and sports medicine provider for Razorback Athletics, UAMS Health covers all 19 Razorback sports programs, including golf, and is the official medical partner of the Simmons Bank Championship presented by Stevens. They're also proud to sponsor professional golfers Ken Duke and Glenn Day. Have a golf injury? Call Ortho at 501-686-TOSH to schedule your appointment today. That's 501-686-8674. Welcome back to this edition of From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. At UAMS Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, they are dedicated to keeping you in the game. From sports injuries to joint replacement, They provide world-class care right here in Arkansas. Call 501-686-TOSH to schedule your appointment today and get back to living pain-free. That's 501-686-8674. Jordan Wicks, born in Conway, Arkansas in September of 1999, plays for the Chicago Cubs. He attended Conway High School, where he played baseball and football. In 2018, his senior year, he was 11-1 with a 0.86 earned run average and finished his high school career with a school record 1.39 ERA. He was undrafted in the 2018 Major League Baseball draft, so he went to Kansas State University to play college baseball. He was selected by the Chicago Cubs in the first round with the 21st overall selection of the 21 Major League Baseball draft. He made his professional debut at the Major League level for the Chicago Cubs on August the 26th of 2023. It was a treat to sit down with Jordan Wicks, me being a lifelong Cub fan, and I hope you enjoy this interview. On the tee, Jordan Wicks. Jordan, thanks for joining me on From the Shortgrass. You got a big event coming up in Conway at Conway Country Club, Veterans Day. Little golf tournament you're going to put together.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're going to put on a golf tournament on Veterans Day. Proceeds going to go to the Wicks Foundation for Veterans, and we're going to really allow a lot of those guys that have served and understand what the best causes are that can be served for those finances to help. And so we really allow them to kind of say, hey, I think these are the biggest things that veterans need or things like that. And so because from my point of view, it's who knows the situation better than people that are in it. And so for me, I think it only makes sense to allow them to kind of steer that ship and really make some of those decisions. And I'm really excited. We've got a dinner part of it the night before, so you can have businesses come out and buy a table and bring clients, bring people at work, all that sort of stuff, and really hang out and have a good time. We're going to do a kind of a question and answer type deal there where people will get to ask questions they maybe wanted to know the entire time or stuff like that. And I really think it'll be just a good, fun social event.
How did this come together?
So for me, it was, me and my wife were talking, and we felt so blessed by the position that we're in. We really wanted to give back in some way. And for us, we both had grandparents and family members that served in the military, and so they, made gigantic impacts on our lives. And so we felt like that was one of the causes that we're the most passionate about. And we also feel like, it's a group of people that is extremely deserving of, help and everything in their way. And so for me, it was, we wanted to do something, and I thought one of the things that people always love doing is, a golf tournament. Like guys like getting out, socializing, being a part of it, and I know the ones I've played in have always been a lot of fun, and that's the big thing that I wanted to get out of this was, I wanted it to be a lot of fun. I wanted people to enjoy themselves. I wanted people to go out because I feel like you can enjoy yourself while raising money for a good cause, and I feel like this is a perfect way to do it.
If there's someone out there listening that wants to play in the tournament, what do they need to do?
Yeah, I think one of the easiest things is, you can reach out to Conway Country Club and express your interest playing in the tournament, and they will definitely, jot down your information and get you in contact with the people you need to. You can also email Nita Freeman at chriscranegroup.com. She's kind of one of the unsung heroes of this event. She's been outstanding. Just putting this all together and really kind of steering the ship and doing a lot of the frankly stuff I don't know how to do. So she's been awesome.
Sometimes you have to rely on other people.
You need it.
Let's talk a little golf. When did you first pick up a golf club?
Oh man, I would say I was probably about 6 years old. Didn't play real consistently. Was always kind of a baseball first guy, but always loved. I had buddies that lived over by Centennial and stuff like that in Conway, and so we'd always go and play. And it was a good way for us to get out and hang out and do stuff like that in the summers when we got nothing to do. And always loved doing it.
Did you play in high school?
I did not. I played not on like the team or anything like that. Yeah,
so because baseball was going on then,
exactly.
You couldn't play at the same time.
No, yeah, for sure. So I'd get out and play, with some of my buddies that would play over there, and we would play on days we didn't have anything going on. But we definitely, we had to be careful of it when baseball season rolled around.
Were you kind of self-taught, or have you had any lessons?
For me, it's almost exclusively self-taught. I feel like for me, it's it's tough to do lessons when I feel like I don't play consistently enough to really make that difference. It might be something to where, down the road, maybe when baseball's done, to look into something like that. But for me, it's difficult. The only time I really get to play consistently is in the off season for about 2 or 3 months. And so for me, it's like, I don't really feel like I'm going to, get out and get enough I'm going to play enough to really have lessons.
Right. I've talked to John Lester, Greg Maddox, John Smoltz, pitchers that love the game of golf. What is it about pitchers and golf that just goes, it seems like, hand in hand?
Man, it's just, especially with guys that start, and have like all those off days, you have a lot of free time. And, I know pitchers love the competitive nature of it because, there's no smack talk at all about, golf games.
Not at all.
There would never be any of that. But, they get out and play. And, one of the best golfers I've played with is Kyle Hendricks this year.
The professor.
Oh, man. He got out in spring training. He was telling us this year, and he hadn't played in probably about 2 years or something like that, like 1.5 years, 2 years, hadn't really played. Went out and played one day and shot like a 68 or something like that. And I was like, you see, that's just unfair. Like that just doesn't, like, how that shouldn't be a thing. Like when you don't play for 2 years, you should not go out and just shoot. He was like, yeah, I topped a couple off the driving range, and then, had a couple more swings and felt pretty good. And, from what I've heard, I wasn't there that day. From what I've heard, the people that played with him said is like, he golfs exactly how you would expect him to golf. It's about, 270, 250, right down the middle. He stays in the fairway, it's
stays
exactly
out of trouble.
Exactly. It's exactly how you should play the game.
When you play with some of your teammates, do y'all play for much, like mill money or something?
Yeah, I'm sure there's something on there. I don't know exactly what guys do it for. We do different things where, we'll play different games on the course, especially if we've got like 4 people, we could play 2v2 or different stuff like that. Or, if we're playing a par 3, we'll do something closest to the pin or something like that. Just kind of different stuff to keep it fun, keep it competitive. Cause nobody that I work with has a competitive spirit or anything like that for sure. It's, it's hard to get out there without having something competitive going on.
The rumor is that Ian Happ's pretty good at the game of golf.
Ian Happ can swing it. That is a fact. I can tell you that. He's one of the better ones on the team for sure.
Does he talk about it? Does he think that, okay, off days, I'm going to throw my clubs on the plane and I'm going somewhere to play?
No, he doesn't talk about it, and you would honestly never know it until you either played with him or somebody else told you, because he's a guy that'll keep to himself. Like he kind of keeps it to himself and all that sort of stuff. But he can play from everything I've heard.
First time in Wrigley, what was that like?
It was unbelievable. I was really lucky because my first time in Wrigley wasn't my debut, so I didn't, go out there and pitch for the first time. I got to come and watch a couple games and kind of feel the atmosphere. But man, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like, especially in the summers when you get out there on the weekend day games and that place is just packed with 40,000 people, and it is rocking. And the Wrigley effect's a real thing. You'll see people come in there that hadn't been there on other teams, and it gets to them, especially rookies and stuff like that on other teams, and it'll get to you.
When you see, obviously you guys go on the road, and sometimes there are a lot of Cub fans that will go see you guys on the road, but other teams coming in, you say, in that Wrigley effect, the fact that it is almost full for every single game, you guys go on the road, and the home crowd might not have that big of a fan base at the game, right?
Oh, we've played road games that are more like home games with how well Cub fans travel.
Early in the season at Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's one where they definitely pack it. When we go to an interesting one, when we go to Colorado, there's a lot of Cub fans that'll be in Colorado. And so we a lot of times will have a ton of Cub fans there. I'm a firm believer, no fan base travels like Cub fans. It's unbelievable when we go on the road. Like we'll go to places as far away as like San Diego or LA, and there's tons of Cub fans at that place. And when we come home, the big one was where there was just a ton of people was when we had Cubs Yankees at Wrigley.
Oh yeah,
I mean that's two fan bases that just run deep, and so that place was packed. But that was a lot of fun, and that's another fan base that travels well.
Little disappointed that you guys didn't make the playoffs this year. I know it was a grind, and you were in the race till basically the last couple of weeks. But your thoughts on missing out on the playoffs, and then your thoughts on Craig Counsell after his first year?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough deal. Obviously, missing the playoffs, we were in it until almost the last week. And it really just kind of came down to dealing with we dealt with some injuries around the middle part of the season and kind of struggled a little bit, and that kind of put us in a hole that it was pretty tough to dig ourselves out of. And yeah, playing for Counts was awesome. Absolutely loved it. It was really awesome getting to just not only meet the guy but like pick his brain and talk to him about different situations, and because not only is he a guy that's accomplished a lot as a manager in the game, played for so long and was such a good player. So yeah, absolutely loved every second playing for him. Great guy to talk to. He's awesome. You can ask him anything about the game or anything about, the team or anything like that. And, real approachable and just a lot of fun to be around.
Best time to play a game at Wrigley? Is it a night game that starts about 6:20 on a Friday, or a Saturday, or is it that 1:20 in the afternoon, middle of the summer?
Oh, it's middle of the summer, 1:20 on a Friday. It's that is unbelievable. We play a lot of day games on the weekends, which I wasn't sure about when I first got there. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna but I love it because it's so nice because you get there, you play the game, the place is packed, there's fans everywhere. And then when you get done, you kind of get to have like a normal evening. So you get to go out to dinner, you get to, have like a normal night before you go to the park the next day. And so it's really nice to kind of have that.
I know you guys get some off days during the season when you're at home and then also on the road. Do you ever take the sticks with you and play a little bit on the road?
I have not. There are guys that definitely go, like if they go places with, really famous courses and stuff like that, they'll go and get on there. I know they, at some point, I can't remember where we were playing, they played Troubadour in Nashville. Yeah, I personally haven't. I couldn't golf much this year. I had a oblique injury midway through the season. It's a little, it's an important muscle in golf. But now, fully healed, so definitely able to get back out there.
It's also an important muscle in baseball and pitching as well. Yeah. What was that like, having to miss that much of the season?
It was frustrating. For me, it was tough because, I hadn't dealt with anything like that. I have been blessed, in my career to stay healthy for, the majority of it. So it was definitely difficult for, the first time to be on the shelf a little bit and not be out there. It was tough to watch, and obliques are really a pain to come back from because they just kind of, you can't really do much for them at first. Like you've got to sit there and almost just let them heal, and so it makes it difficult to kind of have that patience because you want to get back as quickly as you can, but you also can't rush it.
No doubt. Spring training's in Mesa, Arizona.
Yep.
Sloan Park, there's the home of the Cubs for spring training. Do you take the clubs out there? Because there's a lot of places you could play out there.
I mean, that's like the golf capital of the world out there in Scottsdale. I mean, the courses out there are unbelievable. I've taken them out there a couple times. Didn't take them out this last year. It was first time in big league camp. Didn't really know what the schedule was going to be like, so I was like, I'm just going to leave it. Definitely going to take them out this year. Going to try to get back on. I played the Phoenician out there. The Phoenician's unbelievable. It's such a cool course.
TPC Scottsdale, you gotten on it?
I haven't played that. A bunch of the guys get out there right before the Waste Management and play like with the stands and the stadium up and everything, which is really cool.
You have to do that.
Oh yeah. I'm going to try and do that this year. It'll be awesome. But the other one I'm trying to get on out there and play hopefully this off season is like True North out there, which I've heard unbelievable things about. But I mean, there's like, you really can't go wrong out there. Even, the courses that are, some would say on the lower end are still really nice.
Jordan, if this guy is playing golf and in contention, you're going to watch. Who is it?
It'd be way too easy to say Scotty Chef. He's unbelievable to watch, unbelievable, player. One of the ones I really enjoyed was watching. I mean, I love watching DeChambeau hit the ball. I mean, it is impressive. I mean, it's unbelievable just to watch him, how far he can hit it, and just it seems like he almost plays a different game than everybody else just because of how long he can play and all this sort of stuff. One of my favorite guys I watched when we go to the Waste Management about every year out in Arizona, and we were sitting in one of the suites on 18 right there at the end, and we're watching, and we're down there by the green, and you see these group tee off, and you can't really see who's in it because it's so far away. There's two balls, decently far down the fairway, and there's one about 40 yards ahead of everybody else. And we're like, who in the world? And up comes Rory McIlroy just walking up the green, just about 40 yards ahead of the other two in his group. And he just casually walks up to it and drops it to about 3 feet from the hole and just puts it in. And I'm like, oh, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I loved how he didn't spend any time looking for his ball like I do. I spend a lot of time searching, looking under leaves and trees and all that sort of stuff. So
it's in the fairway.
Yeah. It's apparently where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. That's why the name of my golf podcast came up of From the Short Grass, because you don't want to be in the rough, obviously. I mean, you could score a lot better. Is there a course out there that you haven't played that you definitely want to try and play?
I would probably say TPC Scottsdale is probably my number one. Just especially after being at the Waste Management the last 2 years, and like some of my buddies having gone and played that right before the tournament, I definitely think that's one I want to get out and play. Yeah, I'd probably say TPC and True North, just because I've heard so much about True North and how good it is that I definitely want to get out there.
Have you ever thought about maybe sneaking your clubs into Wrigley and hitting a couple wedges off that grass?
Oh, I would never. I would be banned from that place in a hurry. That place is just, that surface is too perfect to try and do anything like that.
What's it like after, let's say, a Friday 120 game in the middle of the summer? And I've been there before, and you have your family out there, and it's like family day. You get to bring your mom and dad and wife and relatives, whoever. They get to come down and just experience the turf and everything.
Yeah, they love it. That's one of the cool things is getting to have family and stuff like that on the field. And one of the coolest parts that we always like is when players a lot of times will bring the kids all come down after the game and we'll run around on the field, or guys will play catch with their kids, or they'll hit some balls or whatever it is. That's always a lot of fun to watch, because you get to see guys in a different element than being a player. You get to see him as a dad, as a husband, all that sort of stuff, which is really cool to see and be a part of.
Is there any better song than after a win and hearing "Go Cubs Go" echo through Wrigley?
It's so catchy. I mean, it gets stuck in your head. If we go on a little heater at home and go on a winning streak, it gets stuck in your head, and it is a lot of fun. And the cool part is also just seeing how much the fans love it, because when it's coming down and we could have a big lead or whatever it is, and no one has left, because for them that's what they're trying to do at the game. They want to stay there and sing the song and be there with the fans and all that sort of stuff. And they don't leave, they stay. They all have their W flags out and they're singing at the top of their lungs. There's nothing like it.
You guys are starting next year in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about that?
That's going to be, I'm excited for that. We're really looking forward to it. We've never been. My wife and I are both going to go. My mom's trying to sneak her way onto the trip, so we'll see about that. But we're excited just to see, one of the things that I think that'll be cool is seeing, Shota and Seiya kind of in their home atmosphere, because they're over here so much, and and adapting, to the U.S. and stuff like that. So to be able to go over there and kind of be in their world for a while will be really cool.
Are you able to have much conversation with Shota because of the fact that, having to use the translator as much as he has to, that you talk about kind of what you're seeing, how to hold the baseball, maybe try a different pitch or something? Yeah,
we talked to him quite a bit. His English has actually gotten a lot better from him arriving in spring training to where, like, if we're having, pretty simple conversations back and forth, like, he can understand quite a bit of it. And the beautiful thing about having Edwin there is, like, if he, or if it gets like a little deeper, like if we're getting into like specifics about pitching or like, stuff like that, then, we'll bring him in. But as far as just having conversations, he does really well. Him and Saya both. So it's been a lot of fun because they both have unbelievable personalities. They're both hilarious. And so just being able to, do that has been awesome.
You spoke earlier about Kyle Hendricks and the 68 that he threw up after not playing for like 2 years on a golf course. What was it like, Jordan, being there for what could have been his final time pitching at Wrigley? Known as the Professor, goes out there and threw a freaking gem.
Yeah. I mean, it's in typical Kyle fashion. Nobody was surprised about him going out and throwing 7 shutout. He looked unbelievable. It was so much fun to be there, and it was one of those things where, like, you don't leave your seat in the dugout for it. You sit there and you watch every single pitch, and just the way the fans took him in and all that stuff shows you everything you need to know about Cubs fans and how awesome they are. I'll be really interested to see what the future holds. And I think he could do whatever he wants to do. Only he knows, and so I definitely hope if he's not back with us, I'm definitely going to try and get him out on the golf course at some point. I need to see it with my own eyes. So hopefully we can arrange that.
No doubt. Jordan, best golf course you've ever played?
Man, I would probably have to say either the Phoenician in Arizona, or there's another one out there that I loved called Los Sendas out in Arizona. Loved that one too.
Okay.
So hopefully I can add to that list though, with a couple coming up, but we'll see.
Fantasy foursome, living or deceased, you and 3 others that you would like to play around a golf with. Who would they be?
Oh man, it would be me, John Daly for sure. That's a lock. Me, John Daly. Tiger, Michael Jordan.
Wow. Were you named after Michael Jordan?
No. I wish I was. I should start telling people that. But
yeah. Maybe you start now.
I know. I know. I'm gonna get some flack for that one, not having Maddox or Schmaltz or any of them in there. But it's tough to I don't know. We may sub Michael out for one of Smoltz, Maddox, or Glavine.
There you
Haven't
go.
decided which one, but we'll sneak one of them in there.
Well, best of luck for the tournament coming up on Veterans Day, and thanks so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Beechwood Pinnacle Hotel Group is the leader in the state in managing hotel properties. From El Dorado to Jonesboro to Fayetteville to Kansas City and back home in Little Rock, you will find a Beechwood Pinnacle managed hotel property. Are you looking for a weekend staycation? Book the Hilton Garden Inn located on Rock Street and enjoy the Agassi 7-rooftop bar with fantastic views of the Little Rock skyline. Open Sunday through Thursday evenings from 4 to 11 and Friday and Saturday from 5 to midnight. Find them on the web at bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotel Group.
UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine is taking golf to the next level. As the official orthopedics and sports medicine provider for Razorback Athletics, UAMS Health covers all 19 Razorback sports programs, including golf, and is the official medical partner of the Simmons Bank Championship presented by Stevens. They're also proud to sponsor professional golfers Ken Duke and Glenn Day. Have a golf injury? Call Ortho at 501-686-TOSH to schedule your appointment today. That's 501-686-8674. That's all the time we have for this edition of From the Short Grass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. I want to thank Jordan Wicks for his time. Don't forget, get your tickets to the Simmons Bank Championship presented by Stevens. Go online to SimmonsBankChampionship.com. I hope to see you out there. And remember, when you find your ball mark on the green, fix it and a couple of more. And I hope to see you from the short grass soon.
You have been listening to From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine, a weekly podcast dedicated to the game of golf. This has been a presentation of the Buzz Radio Network in association with Majestic Cubby Productions.